Hello everybody, welcome back to another video that nobody asked for. I'm enjoying doing this as part of my New Year's resolution, and I failed so far because I didn't actually do a video in January. Anyhow, today is a collage of a lovely Roman goose. But first things first, we start with a cup of tea. Of course we do. Okay, so I started this process today by sketching out what I wanted my Roman goose to look like, and I was quite interested in the Roman goose specifically because of its bright orange beak and feet, and I think it's quite iconic for this, and I promised that the camera isn't blurry the whole time, and here is my very fat looking goose. I do get it to lose some weight over the duration of the painting, so don't worry too much. Yeah, so I'm just sketching out the goose. This was a fairly quick piece of work actually. I wanted to do something fun, something quick, and something achievable in a couple of hours. So this is how we get started, doing a quick sketch. And to be honest, I don't always sketch out what I'm going to do first. It can just be straight onto the canvas or the board, so you're lucky that I actually... Okay, right, second goose going. Now the goose is going straight onto the board. I'm really sorry you can't actually see what is happening on the canvas or the board. It's not actually canvas, it is board. And what I love about this is that, oh, look at those blues, aren't they amazing? Oh, cat hair. Got to get that off first, otherwise it's going to be embedded in. So it's acrylic. I'm using a blend of like a dual coloured blue, ultramarine, and I don't know what the other blue is called. Let me know in the comments. And I'm using a One Brush Wonder, which are my absolute favourite paintings because I don't have to change my brush. I could just use one brush. Adding in the white just to smooth out the texture a little bit. So yeah, I was saying about this board, you can see like a green flower in the top right hand corner. So I had previously been experimenting on this page with something. I think they might have been my new pastels. Anyway, we cover that up, but there's a little bit of history behind the board that we're using today. Okay, we've got more blue on the canvas now, and the reddest ear that you've ever seen in your life. I'm trying to make some of the paint go a little bit further here. Acrylics can dry quite quickly if you don't watch it, so blending them you have to act quite quickly, which is actually I think quite fitting for this painting because the point wasn't to take too much time with it. Something that was meant to be quick, fun, done in a couple of hours, something that could be easily replicable. Oh look, there we go, we're covering it now. I still think to this day you can actually still see a hint of the flower in the background, but that's fine, it adds character. Okay, at this point I am brushing the background around the silhouette of the goose. Okay, we've got a bit further. Still got the reddest ear ever. Oh, plot twist. I am covering the goose. Yeah, I remember doing this now. So I covered it and then I thought, actually, no, do you know what? I've got a much better idea and I'm going to leave you all in suspense. What do you think? What do you think I'm going to do next, guys? And if you thought that I left that gap there by my right hand on purpose so that I could put my fingers there to stabilise it, you would be wrong. I had absolutely no thought of that whatsoever, and I don't know why I left that gap. I'm giggling at something, I can't remember what it was. I obviously thought what I was doing was hilarious. Okay, Goose is now nearly fully covered over. Sorry if this bit is a bit boring. I'm quite enjoying watching this. But I think you can kind of tell from the speed that I'm working at. Like, I'm not trying to labour over this painting today. Oh, that's annoying. I kind of miss a bit in the centre at the bottom. There's a bit of a scratch. Never mind. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not aiming for perfection. This is so far from it, I cannot explain. Oh, there we go. Hallelujah. We have a blank canvas, pardon the pun. We are starting fresh. Okay, I'm still going. Right, next steps. And it's officially drying time for that board. So we leave that and move on to the next bit. And the goose again for the third time round. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch me draw this out for the third time, so I will just cut to the chase and show you. There we go, a close-up of the goose. Lost a bit of weight in the transition. And here's another surprise as well. I'm just leaving the goose for the time being. I'm actually going to start working on something else. See if you can figure out along the way what I'm actually doing. I wanted to make the most of the paper that I had. I'm a very big fan of using everything you've got and making as little waste as you can, especially with art. I think when you're creating something, it's down to the artist, down to the creator to make those decisions along the way to create as little waste as possible. If you're going to create something, I think you have to take responsibility for the materials that you use. Anyway, okay, go for a nice orange. I have to say, I think the high contrast colours look so amazing on this bright white paper, and shout out to my lovely dried pink flowers in the background, which make everything look 10 times more stunning. I actually end up deciding I don't like this green in the end. Yeah, see, I'm not happy. I really should have shown you my palette, sorry guys. I meant my paint palette, just for reference. Okay, there we go. That's a bit of a nicer green for what we're doing. So we've got green, yellow and orange. Any guesses what kind of springtime flower I could be working on? 50p for whoever gets it right. Okay, now classic, cutting out the goose. Let's go. Oh, that's actually good luck to cut out 2 pieces in one, if you didn't know that. Again, you can't see my palette, my paint palette, that is. But I've made like a slightly yellowy off-white colour, ready to paint the goose. I suppose I could have left it white, but I think it would be much nicer. There's something about adding the yellow to stand in contrast to the blue background. Spoiler alert, I end up putting the goose on the blue background. Oh, bendy goose. I don't know how this didn't stick to the paper. Look at, oh my gosh, how does it not rip? I am testing this paper to its absolute limits. And then I sat here for about 15 minutes like this. waiting for it to dry. It gets more entertaining, I promise. Okay, now with the bright orange, what's it gonna be? I'm cutting out the beak at this point. I could have painted it, but I think there's something really nice about adding another layer of card, adding another layer of thickness, and that's just the element of collage, I suppose, adding those layers, adding those different textures. And can I say, I actually had to go to 3 different shops to try and locate this card. There's nothing like particularly special about it. I just wanted some coloured card and couldn't find it anywhere. Oh, this is the best bit, okay. This is where Goose comes to life. We're adding the eye. So I believe that this is a Roman goose, and what makes it unique is the beak and the feet being orange. I wish I knew more about this particular species. They're often featured in quite a lot of artwork, sometimes animated or digital artwork. They're just an iconic looking bird, I think, and they're very cute. And thankfully for me, quite easy to draw. If you guys know any more about Roman geese, let me know. Where do you think it came from? So for this I'm actually using a 0.8 fine liner. I only used a 0.8 and a 0.2 for this. I didn't think too much shading was necessary. I think if you want more shading, then you can use a wider variety of different fine liner sizes. And there we go, there's a cute goose. It's meant to have a tiny bit of tufty hair at the top for the eagle-eyed amongst you, for the geese-eyed amongst you. Okay, if anybody hasn't guessed what flowers I'm making, they're gonna be daffodils. And there's the first one, there she is. In hindsight, I think I actually made the centre orange part a bit too big, but it's okay. Ah, yes, and then I cut the stem because it looks a bit too much like a wind turbine at the minute. That's better. That's so much better. And finally, the goose goes on. This was such a momentous occasion, sticking this goose on. Not for any particular reason, because it didn't take a huge amount of time and I didn't put a huge amount of work into this, but it's just so satisfying seeing these two pieces together like that. And I think, look how amazing that goose looks on the background. Look at those colour differences. It could almost be in front of a waterfall. It could be raining. It could be flying over the sea. Oh, and now I'm placing the daffodils, and I spent absolutely ages trying to figure out where to put them. I almost nearly didn't put them on at all because I think actually there's something really nice and simplistic and minimalistic about the goose being on its own with the background. And I ended up actually filming a final shot of just the goose with the background, but changed it and thought, no, let's do the daffodils, let's do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's fine. That's not what we're going for here. And I really love doing this. I think the childlike element of it makes me feel so happy, and that is, I think, why I enjoy doing this piece so much. And there we go, guys. It is a silly goose with some daffodils. That is it, really. Like, there's nothing else to it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye!